Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly. It's in the description below, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing a 2015 limited edition of 100 pieces in tribute to the 1967 62GS, the first automatic Grand Seiko watch. This is the Grand Seiko 62GS reissue. This is the SBGR091 37 millimeters, 37.6 if we're precise, in white gold. So the watch is 37.6 millimeters in diameter, about 1 millimeter larger than the 1967 original. It is 13.4 millimeters thick, and it is a remarkably compact 42.4 millimeters lug-to-lug with a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw the watch on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist real quick. It's a perfect fit. Being less than 43 millimeters lug-to-lug, I would recommend this watch for a wrist of any size. My wrist, again, is 16 centimeters, and I have no problem wearing this watch. It will fit underneath a cuff. It is comfortable, handsome, and versatile. I can imagine this wearing well on both a man's or a lady's wrist. Taking a quick look at the hardware and the software, this one features a high-gloss, large rectangular scale alligator leather stuffed strap, folded edge, monotone stitch, medium brown, and then a vintage Grand Seiko pin buckle with the vintage logo and frosted center in matching white gold. Now, rolling back to the case, you can see that it's the 62GS case, also known as a polyhedron in Grand Seiko speak. It features a number of sharp and strong facets, while the lugs themselves still manage to come to a rather elegant taper. There's a little bit of satination between the lugs, and you can see that at both ends, but what you'll note at first glance is that the case is seamless. There is no separate upper bezel assembly, and so the case, as viewed from the top, is all of a piece. It is a monoblock that loads from the rear. It has a screwed-in case back, and you'll note on the reverse side, this is the vintage circa 1967 Grand Seiko and Seiko Lion logo. It is distinct from the one used in the modern era. So to match the buckle as well as the dial, we have a vintage logo. You can see this is number 70 of 100, made in Japan, naturally. The case is white gold in this instance, and of course it has received the tin plate direct polishing known as Zaratsu polish, a craft that takes about 3 years to learn. The foremost practitioners of it, using European-made Zalitz machines, are the folks at Grand Seiko. So this watch, starting with the case alone, is hand finished. You can see that the creases and the curves actually exist in a handsome interplay, bestowing the watch with an unexpected complexity. Now, the crown down at 4 o'clock is true to the scale, or rather proportion and location of the original. The crown on the original was made small and recessed and placed off-center because as an automatic winding watch, the first from Grand Seiko, the crown was less important. It would not be needed for winding. We have a sapphire here, but the sapphire is a box section with an immense amount of camber to emulate a vintage plexiglass. Grand Seiko dials are probably the best in the business in their price range. They're on par with, if not better, than Rolex. And Rolex is often considered the mainstream luxury standard for dial quality in Switzerland. We have a silver satin dial base, and you can see there's a little bit of a stepped minutes and seconds track outboard. The individual indices themselves have been finished with diamond-tipped micrometric milling tools by artisans who create these little pieces, including the hands, all day long and do nothing but fabricate these pieces. The same is true of the aperture for the date. The hand at center is a fired blue stainless steel lancet-style counterweighted seconds hand, and it beats away at 8 beats per second. The hands at center for the hours and the minutes, you can see, are extravagant Dauphine style. They are entirely black polished with mirrored razor-like facets on their side. Truly, this is handcraft, the finest you can obtain in a mainstream luxury brand. No one else, even Rolex, is bestowing this much time and attention on dial components. Now roll the watch over, and again, you're going to have to use your imagination here, but what's inside is the Grand Seiko manufactured caliber 9S65. It's an automatic winder. It has a 3-day power reserve. It beats away at 8 beats per second. It has both a stop second or hacking function and a quick set for the date, and it is adjusted in 6 positions, and Grand Seiko boasts of a +5 second, -3 second maximum daily variation for this watch. So while the timepiece is, of course, a very accurate watch, it goes beyond the ISO 3159, which is the definition used by the Swiss COSC to determine a chronometer. Remember, that is -4 +6 per 24 hours. This is -3 +5. And a major if somewhat unnecessary refinement for a pure dress watch, is 100 meters of water resistance. Unexpected, but heck, throw it on a water-resistant band. Much appreciated. A surprisingly versatile daily companion. This is the 100-piece SBGR091 in white gold.